Hi, welcome again to the JD the Prophet studio for another little chat about what is going on in the world of music right now. And as I'm sure people have seen, Pusha T has responded once again to Drake. So I saw, as I'm sure many of you did, Drake sitting down with LeBron talking about the incident, talking about the battle that happened throughout the summer, the surgical summer, whatever you want to call it. And he brought up all this stuff about how maybe Pusha T took it too far and all this sort of stuff. Why are you bringing up 40? More about that later. All this story about how it turns out he told Kanye all this stuff and Kanye had the Lift Yourself beat for him and then he released it. A load of very interesting stuff. And then we saw Push reply on a tweet just with some like laughing crying face emojis. Kind of thought that was done. Suddenly then, Pusha's on the Joe Budden podcast. Well, basically has this to say. I'm just going to play the audio in the video.
With that being said, again, and back to the show and just addressing those things.
Please.
The information came from 40. It didn't come from Kanye. At all.
Okay.
40 is sleeping with a woman who begins to, he talks to her daily, 5-6 hours a day.
Oh, she must have a great personality.
Yeah, bruh. Come on. Listen, talks to a woman 5-6 hours a day, provides opportunity for her.
Provides opportunity
for her.
He's a great guy.
And ultimately speaks about how he's disgruntled about certain things, notoriety and things involving Drake and his career.
So, what turn up for the books? Obviously, nobody knows what the real truth is. But this does stir things up even more if this is the truth. That Drake's own producer, very good friend, may have let slip what was going on. I've seen some people saying betray. I understand what you're saying, but I think if he'd called up Pusha T and let him know deliberately man to man, that would be a betrayal. I would say this is more of an error of judgment if it is indeed true that he let slip about Drake's child and then Pusha T found out about it, however he found out about it, and sat on it and then used it when Drake brought up his family. As people who come from Rock Reacts know, I'm not from the world of hip-hop. This is all relatively new to me, but do you know what's been interesting to me? Actually, I'm going to use a different word. Do you know what's been fascinating to me about this beef, okay? Not only was it between an artist that I knew from clips back in the day, and I hadn't really heard much of Pusha's music as a solo artist until recently, but it was between somebody I knew and obviously somebody that everybody knows, so that kind of spiced it up straight away. And also, I think this was the situation, this was the beef that made me understand and become a fan of hip-hop. And what I mean by that is, I was always a fan of rap music, I've been a fan of hip-hop music for years and just listened to various projects, various artists throughout the years, along with like all the metal and rock and whatever other genres that I've listened to through my whole life. But this thing, the summer, when we're in the middle of it on Rock Reacts, reacting, and I'm watching interviews, I'm watching Breakfast Club, I'm listening to Joe Budden, I'm reading articles, I'm doing this and this, and suddenly the whole concept of hip-hop, something just awoken in me, and I realised it was now about so much more. When people talk about the culture, I'm sure it means lots of different things, and I'm still very much probably an outsider to that, but I suddenly understood so much more. It's about so much more than the music, and obviously did a lot of research into this particular beef, where it all came from, with the Lil Wayne potentially biting how clips were at close of the Bape stuff, and then onto the Pusha's diss track, the Exodus track, and then literally listened again today to Two Birds One Stone from Drake, and the stuff about Cudi. So it's been going back and forth for a long time. I may not have been there for all of that, but I've gone and done my due diligence and studied up. Where do I sit on it? I still think the story of ADIDON was one of the most amazing things that I'd ever heard or seen. You can go and see my genuine reaction along with Simon over on Rock Reacts that's still sitting on there. But it's such a fascinating track. The whole aesthetic behind it, the artwork, the true unraveling of a public persona in a way that I've never seen pretty much before, apart from when somebody who is a public figure does something wrong. And what Drake did isn't really wrong. Like, it wasn't a crime or anything like that, but his public persona was something different. Certainly his public persona as a pop star in the last couple of years was something different to what, is actually probably the truth. And, obviously as a man who talks a lot about his own family and upbringing and stuff, and Pusha T just said, right, if you're going to speak about my family and you're going to speak about my friends in Kid Cudi and say what you said, then I'm going to unravel that. And then we think, okay, so the other day we think it's Kanye. Kanye's fucking insane. He's doing all sorts of crazy shit. And you can believe everything Drake's saying. I'm sure all of that is true. And Drake believes in his heart that Kanye told Push. And that may still be the case. But now this amazing twist in a tale. I mean, Jesus is better than any pro wrestling storyline in the last 5 years, I tell you that much. I'd love it if it went back to music. I'd love some more tracks to come out. I mean, Drake talked about the track that he put the kibosh on that he stopped. That was so bad. He'd done so much research and stuff, but decided that it wasn't worth releasing. That's a fine sentiment and an understandable point of view, considering album launches, considering featuring on God knows how many songs since, considering his status. If you then don't sit down in an interview that is going to be seen by millions of people and bring it back up again. He brought it back up again. So, what's Pusha T going to do? Like, he's got to say something back if he's got more information. He talked about the surgical summary. He talked about he's got so much more on Drake that he can just keep slicing away. So, you poke the hornet's nest again. And, I mean, where does this go from here? It's a fascinating situation. At the same time, it's nothing to do with me. But, But when you start putting songs out about it and expecting an audience to listen to that song, you do become wrapped up and involved in it. And that's something that I've learned absolutely about this. So I'm keen to know other people's thoughts on it. Where do we go next? I've done 2 vlogs on this channel now, whatever you want to call this, 2 little op-eds, 2 little opinion pieces. And they've both been about beef. I wasn't planning on the second one being about that as well. But I just kind of thought, A, it's interesting. B, like the vibe of Pusha T when he's talking on that Joe Biden interview, the vibe of the man's amazing. That is a truly calm and collected individual. That is a man that's seen stuff that most of us could never even understand, lived through it, is living a wonderful life right now, is an incredibly talented musician, and is just comfortable in his own truth. Now, that may be because he's an amazing actor, or it may be exactly as I said. I don't know. You can never know. I don't know the man. But that's how he comes across, certainly. That's how he comes across to me. I just love this, man. I love it. It's such a fascinating thing. I feel a bit bad for the kid because he's kind of wrapped up in it, but also he's, is what it is. It is what it is. Keen to know your thoughts. Where does this go next? Does Drake drop it again? I assume he probably will. Is he going to risk bringing it back up again? I'd love him to just drop the track. Just do the track. You should always bring it back to music. Like, I love the fight game as well. Like, I train in that world and I love the UFC. I'm not particularly interested in Conor McGregor throwing dollies at buses and all that sort of stuff. But I don't mind a good bit of good trash talk, a little bit of emotional unraveling, a little bit of like mental warfare, but always finish it in the cage. And in this rap beef world, which I've learned about quickly, always finish it in the studio, always attack in the studio. I'd much rather that than on podcasts. So I'd love another track. I'd love another track back from MGK. I'd love another track back from Drake. Let's keep going. But I don't think we'll see that, unfortunately. I don't think we'll hear that. And I think Pusha maybe even has more. I think that Push he's clever enough, he's smart enough, and he's vicious enough, surgical enough to not give everything away in that Biden interview. He's probably still got 2 or 3 more things he can sit on. It's 2 or 3 more sources. Like, that is a man that knows exactly what he's doing and, knows exactly how to attack. And then maybe some completely new information or some other way of completely destroying him that he may still be sitting on, like he's got his finger hovering on the nuke button. But we shall see. Let me know your thoughts on this matter. God, it's good fun. It is good fun. And then, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share if you like. Obviously, let me know about future album reactions, future song reactions on Rock Reacts. Let me know about this channel, the setup, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, just another quick one. Lots of good fun. Here we go. Is it coming again? Awesome. All right, guys. I'll catch you later.
The information came from 40. It didn't come from Kanye.